downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI, 844-HIRE-ASI, or online at hireasi.com.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax, it's gonna be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered tasty catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's gonna be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen will be talking about Hollywood's reaction to the El Paso and Dayton shootings, find out what celebs want to do with the First Amendment, and is Trump thinking about more gun control? All that and more, including your moment of AOC Zen, bag of bucks, on tonight's On Target Radio. So give us a call at 312-642-5600 and ask a question or make a comment live on the show, or go to our Facebook page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube, On Target Radio, where you can watch the show in real time and then go back and view the archive version.
It's been one of those weeks. You know, it's just...
Definitely.
Been one of those weeks. You got to wonder, these shootings, and I don't mean to demean them at all, but they always seem to happen at an opportune time.
I think we got to ask Alex Jones about that. I think he's probably got a pretty strong opinion that would agree with you.
I'm sure he has some ideas about that.
I'm sure he does.
But am I just imagining that? Or, I mean, all this Democratic presidential candidates have this. Did you watch any of that?
No, I just saw the highlights on the news afterwards.
Highlights? Boy, I don't think highlights not
okay.
exactly the best choice of
Highlights,
words.
lowlights, whatever you want to call them.
Every one of them has a more bizarre approach to what they will do when they're president. Kamala Harris says she'll give the Congress 100 days, and if they don't enact gun legislation, she's going to do it by executive, order. What's that old piece of paper in the Smithsonian?
The Constitution?
Oh, yeah, the Constitution. Yeah, right.
I think it's in the National Archives, though, isn't it?
Is that where? Oh, it probably is, actually, yeah. Yeah, it probably is in the archives. You can't just, go in and feel it, play with it. You go, oh, that's kind of crisp. Oh, it breaks.
Yeah.
But, and again, I certainly don't mean to demean what's been happening, but they waste no time, absolutely no time whatsoever. They step over dead bodies to get in the news. And I was just on the way here, Jack Tapper, isn't that his name? Jake Tapper, rather, was interviewing the mayor of
El Paso.
Yeah, it was of El Paso. And he was doing it started out, okay, it was an interview. How are you doing? All that kind of stuff. But it then it pretty quickly shifted. He was specifically trying to get the mayor of El Paso, Texas, to say that somehow this was Trump's fault. And you could just, you listen to the way he asked his questions. He was saying things like, well, there are people who say that our whole atmosphere has gotten to be so vitriolic, and doesn't this come from the president? The mayor of El Paso was having nothing to do with it.
That's good.
He was having nothing to do with it at all. And he tried 3 or 4, and when he got rebuffed on that question, he just came at it from another way and got rebuffed, and he came at it from another way. They're just doing everything they can. They don't care about who gets in the way. They don't care about walking over bodies. It's insane.
If I was the mayor, I would have just Donald Trumped him and just kicked him out. Like, get out of here. I don't need to talk to you anymore.
right.
We're done.
Get out of my town.
It's the 2 nights that they. The interesting thing, the second night of the panel stuff that they did with the candidates, they never brought up gun control. Because the first night, they were tripping over each other, and they were saying some really stupid stuff. But the interesting thing was, there's 2 factions. Well, there are a lot of factions, actually. But there's 2 sort of principal factions. There are those people who are going, we should do away with all guns. I mean, they're just being blatant, you know. No, we shouldn't have this, shouldn't have that, shouldn't do this. Yeah, if you want to have a shotgun to shoot pheasants, I guess, you know, you could take out a license and lock it up somewhere when you're not using it and, you know, have it guarded by people, I don't know. But really, really over the top stuff. And then there's the other faction who's not disagreeing with what they think, but are saying, oh, great, we'll stick to our principles and we'll just lose the election. So they're beginning to feed on each other, which I found rather interesting. After that night, the next night, they didn't bring the subject up.
Well, if you remember, Bill Maher, I think it was, told them not to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think we
talked
covered
about that. A couple weeks ago. Yeah.
And apparently they're not listening to that. I mean, not that, you know, you should listen to Bill Maher, but, you know.
Not the first night, anyway. The second night.
But, but he's right. It's
I'm
so
fine
over
with
the
them
top.
doing it because they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
Metaphorically
more
speaking.
metaphorically,
Yeah.
right.
It is. I mean, well, we saw what happened in, what was it, 96 when they did that.
Yeah.
At some point, see, they keep saying stuff like this. It says, imagine a world. This is Rihanna. Is that how she pronounces it?
Rihanna.
First of all, who really cares? That's, I think, the bigger
Well,
question.
yeah, she's from Barbados.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's not exactly an American.
But for whatever reason, people like this get traction. Well, because of what she says. But she says, imagine a world where it's easier to get an AK-47 than a visa. What?
Well, let's just do the Beatles song Imagine and just make that our campaign thing. You know, it's like, you know, imagine all the people all happy and all that crap, and it's never going to happen.
Andy Richter, who I know, you don't have a lot of warmth for.
I think I expressed that before the show.
McConnell, they say what they always say, you know, condolences and our prayers and hearts and all that. Andy Richter, who's never been known for pulling punches, said to McConnell, he says, why are you horrified? This is exactly the sort of thing that you, especially and specifically you, facilitate. It's your cowardly self-interest that keeps these massacres happening. Keep your prayers. You don't get to mourn. You only should feel shame, you empty, greedy ghoul. The interesting thing about this is there are some Democrats who are now turning against that. They're turning their back on it. They're going, this is way over the top.
Well, it's good. I think it's time for some backlash, and I think it's time for it to go full circle. I think it's time for some people to finally realize, you know, the rhetoric isn't helping anything, and if you look at it logically, gun control is not the answer. The places that have gun control, like California and Chicago, still have murders, still have, you know, and it's really not that high of rate of homicide when you look at it statistically. It may seem like a lot on any given summer weekend. It may seem like a lot, but when you really break it down, it's really not.
You mean by percentage of population?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. By percentage of population, it's not. It's a lot of.
And we don't
in the
even.
neighborhood.
I think we still rank like 5th or 6th in the country. I mean, even though it makes a lot of headlines, it's really not statistically as bad as it seems.
Well, I know when they take out the cities, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Detroit, there's about 5 or 6 cities. If you take them out of the homicide statistics, our country just almost goes to the bottom of the list. Pretty close. Not all the way down, but it comes pretty close. Mm-hmm. It's basically our crime rate, our violent crime rate, rests in about a half a dozen cities in this country. To the best of my recollection, every single one of which has been under Democratic control for decades, literally for decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all they keep pitching is, we need more gun control, we need this, we need that. Nobody does squat to address the actual problem. Do you remember what Paul McKinley said to us? You recall about how he could solve this problem?
I remember somewhat of what he said.
He said on this show, McKinley was a hardcore gangbanger, as in he did hard time for armed robbery. And then he came out a Republican, which may be the only time in the history of...
He got Jesus and Republican.
Yeah, maybe the only time in the history of the prisons that somebody actually got rehabilitated. But he still lives in the old neighborhood. And he said, there's a solution to it, but nobody's going to have the political will to do it. And he said, it's actually very simple if you're willing to do it. Number one, there are people in those communities you have to lock up forever. They can't ever go back out on the street because as soon as they get back out, they just start it again. Number two, you got to stop paying women to have children without fathers. Number three, you got to put fathers back in the home. Number four, you have to give the kids in the area a meaningful education and give them an occupation that they can actually do. And then number five, you got to bring work in there that they can do. You have to have projects and stuff that's going on that they can be hired to do it at. And he said, you're never going to get Democrats to approve that. You may not be able to get Republicans to approve it. But that would, and then you're looking at probably 1 to 2 generations for it to actually go into effect.
Right. So the murder capital of the United States is actually East St. Louis.
It's a little bit of a surprise.
I lived
I know
down
it's
there for a
bad.
year.
Yeah.
No, this is rates, obviously. This is percentages. So it's murder rate per 1,000 is 1.13. Chester, Pennsylvania is number 2.
But what's that near?
It doesn't say.
It's probably near like Philly or something.
St. Louis, Missouri is number 3. So you have to go to, where's Chicago? Chicago has to be on the list somewhere.
No?
Chester, Pennsylvania is right outside Philadelphia.
There you go. City
Chicago's
brotherly
not-
love.
Chicago Heights is on the list, but Chicago is not on the list.
Well, anyway, that was a fun time. We always enjoy making our first segment something you can have a good laugh at. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trump is mulling over possibility of more gun control. All that and more when we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560.
The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Sleep myths. Watching TV. Fall asleep with the TV on. Watch TV helps you unwind. Just turn your brain off. Watch something light. One of the Saw movies or something.
One of the Saw movies. You told me to go see Saw 2 with my boy.
It's great. It's a nice family movie.
You didn't tell me. That's what you said. It's a horror film.
It's a morality play. That's what it is.
Okay.
Start your day with Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday morning starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've had chronic pain for the last 3.5 years. My pain has just, since I've been on the product, started to diminish little by little every day. I'm feeling a lot better. I don't want to get off of it now that I'm on it because it's making a big difference in what I'm able to do and how I'm being able to function better. And not only that, I lost 8 pounds in the first 6 days of being on it. I was like, wow.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Receive 25% off your first preferred purchase of Balance of Nature. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. With these discounts, you will still receive free shipping on every order. This limited time offer will only be available until the end of the week, so don't wait. Call 888-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Hey, look at this.
Why are you on your phone? We have dinner reservations.
I'm getting a quote for life insurance from Ethos. Just look.
Wow. I thought it would be more expensive.
A friend told me about Ethos. It's a new, straightforward kind of term life insurance that offers policies for any budget. Let's do an estimate for you.
Do we have time?
You just answer 4 simple questions to get an instant quote.
These are easy questions.
And there's the instant quote.
Seriously? That was really fast.
I know, right? And the online application only takes about 10 minutes. No pushy agents. And in most cases, no medical exams. It's perfect for us.
Can we apply right now?
Why not? And after dinner, maybe we can celebrate.
You know what? Ethos is perfect for us.
Ethos is ethical term life insurance. Straightforward and super fast. Don't put it off. Go to ethoslife.com for a free instant quote now. ETHOSlife.com. That's ethoslife.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And we have a caller we'll get to in just 1 minute. I just want to point out that this article that was done about America's under attack, Biden, well, all of them really. I mean, they all have weighed in. Elizabeth Warren, we're waking up to the second mass shooting in as many days. Kamala Harris, we cannot remain idle and allow this level of carnage to ravage our communities. But Biden makes this comment that I love when people do this. Folks, even the NRA members know better. Biden said late Friday before the shootings, even the NRA members know we need universal background checks, the majority of them, which is a really poorly constructed sentence. They love to tell people what we think.
So did anybody that matters actually weigh in on this?
I don't think so, but you never know. John may know in Waukegan. John, how are you doing this evening?
Show here, and you got me interested right away when you were discussing homicide rates. As a country, if you eliminate Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit, and New York, we don't look that bad anymore worldwide for homicide rates. And the highest ones in the world are where they ban guns.
Sure.
Adversely or whatever. And I agree with you. People are always telling us what our opinions are. And you get a little tired of that pretty quick. And what the idea is probably to shape somebody else's opinion.
Yeah.
That's like the phony polls that we had in 2016.
It gets boring after a while when people are publicly publishing what I think when I haven't told them what I think.
Well, that's because when they actually do surveys, when they actually come up with polls, then they find out what we actually think, and then that doesn't support
exactly
what they're trying to prove.
Here's the formula. The formula for a poll is you decide on the results before you take the poll. And then you have certain groups or a group that you will poll, you get your answer.
And
that's how it works.
My graduate school textbook on statistics was called Lies, Damn Lies, and Statistics. So, yeah. And you can do anything with numbers. But, but they are basically shameless. The smoke has not cleared the air, and they're on site interviewing people, pushing them to say something negative about the President of the United States or the NRA. Well, don't you think, this wouldn't happen if it weren't for... No, I don't necessarily think that.
Surprised David Hogg didn't ride his bike down there.
I think he has his own private jet now.
He may, actually.
The Hogg, I don't know. He's kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from him.
He's gotten quiet.
Well, he probably made $10 million over doing this, so...
He's set for life now. He's done.
Yeah, Bloomberg probably wrote him a check. Something that did show up in the paper today. It was in USA Today. Trump said perhaps more needs to be done on gun control, but it doesn't give any kind of statistic at all. I don't mean statistic. It doesn't give any specificity to it.
He said he's going to have a press conference tomorrow morning.
So right now, He's probably listening to the show to decide what he's going to say.
So here's what he needs to say. We need less of it.
Yes.
Less gun control.
Less gun control.
There we go. We do need to do something about it. We need to get rid of it.
We already have background checks. This is one of the things that the Democrats are always saying. We need universal background checks. This is what they're always asking for. What I would say is let's true the background checks. Let's make sure that every agency that's supposed to be reporting to the NICS system is actually reporting
And they're not.
to the NICS system.
They're
And they're
not.
not.
That's
Right,
right.
exactly. We know that. So let's make sure that every month, every agency that's supposed to be feeding in data is feeding in data.
And I don't have a problem with that. I think that's good.
That's what we all want.
That's what we're talking about when we talk about
we want people
being supportive.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of these people are acquiring their guns legally. That's the unfortunate part of this. Okay. But occasionally, like the guy who shot up the church in Texas a year and a half ago or so, he should have been reported to the NICS and wasn't,
Right.
because he had a dishonorable discharge from the military for beating up his ex-wife or something like that. So those are the people we need. That information reported to NICS, and that's what I would like to see.
It'll help, but at the same time, I think they have us in this fight of, was it legal? Was it illegal? We're all sitting here focused on that. It doesn't matter.
True.
If they want to do something, they're going to do it. Whether they have a gun, whether they have a truck bomb, whether they have whatever the means is, they're going to do it.
I agree. It has more to do with mental health and hate. It really has a lot to do with that.
You're listening on Target Radio. This is AM 560. The Answer. We're talking about Democrats tripping over bodies to put their political agenda, anti-gun agenda, forward. I agree with you on that. I just look. One of the problems is this: most, not all, but most of these people who've shot up schools and stuff, they were known.
Mm-hmm.
They'd had run-ins with the police.
It was mental health.
Right. They've had mental health issues all along, and nobody did anything about it. So this nonsense about blaming the gun, that's like blaming a car for a car accident. It makes no sense. And they know it makes no sense. There's two kinds of people on the anti-gun side.
Yes.
There are those people that just absorb talking points because they think it's cool, it's the way to be, and they don't use any critical thinking at all. But there are people in control who know exactly what they're not stupid. They know what they're doing, and they know darn well it doesn't matter. But the agenda has never been about safety for them. It's been about disarming people.
It's about control.
Exactly. Nobody is going to suggest from the pro-gun side that people who have mental problems should have access to guns. Nobody's going to suggest that. That's reasonable. The problem we run into with this is that it is the lack of due process that happens in those scenarios. But I'm beginning to think more and more, if literally the potential for lethal force exists, where someone could use lethal force against themselves or another, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a different set of due process, because you can't, once you know a person is capable of doing that, or at least they're talking about it, you got to step in. I mean, I don't see, because in the time it takes you to figure out how you're going to do something, they could do it. I don't know. Maybe that's a radical thing. Maybe I'll have people call in, and nobody's calling in. But, but that is a special group of people, and virtually every one of these people fits into that class.
Just about.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
basically every one.
There are a few who I would classify more in the government conspiracy camp, who don't really have the mental problems, like the Pulse nightclub shooter and the Las Vegas guy. I have more of a conspiracy theory sort of look at those guys.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of those people that had mental health flags that, if something had been done, if somebody had followed up, things would have turned out differently.
Yeah. So Trump says he's going to have a press conference Monday morning around 10. I assume it's 10 Eastern.
I'm sure.
He'll be on board Air Force One. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. But I just, there has to be a way of dealing with that class of people. We can't let that continue. And that is pretty much the other the other murderous type is someone who just has something in for you. I mean, they're just going out to
Those
grease
tend to be
some
more domestic
Yeah,
type
exactly.
based. The other thing that no one has the will to do, and Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman has talked about this in his books and his talks, that these first-person shooter video games,
absolutely.
they need to be tougher to get.
Yeah.
I think either make them more difficult to get, like you have to be over 21 to get them, or if you have any kind of mental health flags in your records, you can't possess them. Like make it almost like alcohol or
Sure.
drugs or something like that. Like make it harder to get those, because they really are. I mean, Grossman says this, that it's basically a training.
Of course.
It's basically a simulator for these types of incidents.
Well-
And, when people, if that's what you practice, then, you get it in your head that it's acceptable, that it's an okay thing to do, and you know how to do it.
And I've said this for years. This country spends billions of dollars on advertising because it works. Those games are advertising.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how you look at it. We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we got Gary in Naperville. We'll get on the phone. But we're going to take a break for now. We'll be back with more on Target Radio after these messages. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
It's time we had an uncomfortable conversation. A conversation about race, about crime, about politics, about all the things that divide us, so that we can find the things that might unite us. That's what AM 560's own Joe Walsh and Maze Jackson from WVON 1690 AM will do each week on their podcast, Uncomfortable Conversations. Check it out at 560theanswer.com every Thursday, and catch Maze with Joe Thursday evening at 6:30 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Mike Piazza.
Amazing grace.
9 dead, 27 wounded, now a vigil in Ohio. Shooter identified as Connor Betts, one of the deceased Betts' own sister. Mike Kern, a bar patron, knew Betts, and in his words, calling the shooter the nicest kid you could imagine. In El Paso, Texas, where less than 14 hours earlier, 21-year-old Patrick Wood Crucius killed 20 Walmart shoppers, wounding more than 2 dozen. Veronica Escobar, Texas Democratic Congresswoman, seeking an answer to the senseless gun violence.
That absolutely should be a part of the conversation. It is not too soon to have those conversations. It is too late.
Escobar speaking to reporters. This is Fox News.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Did you buy into the timeshare lies?
I can tell you that I had a 4-year experience with a timeshare corporation who did nothing but lie to me.
That swapping locations was easy?
They made this sound that this would be a really good deal, that I could go anywhere, anytime I wanted to. That never worked out.
Timeshare lies. Thousands of timeshare owners know the feeling. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I worked for the largest timeshare company in the world. When I learned the truth about what they were selling, I quit my job and instead became the pioneer in helping folks get out of their timeshare contracts legally. I understand that trusting anyone after buying a timeshare is a difficult task. That's why I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
For a free information kit on how to cancel your timeshare, call Wesley Financial Group now. 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Hey, my friend Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy, has authorized me to make the best offer ever on radio or TV. For a limited time only, you can get a 2-pack of MyPillows for only $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. Again, that's the lowest price he's ever offered in the history of MyPillow. Now, if you procrastinate and don't own a MyPillow yet, or you already know why this is the pillow everybody wants and loves because you've got one, then, man, here's the best offer ever. And by the way, you can still get 30% off of the pet beds, mattress toppers, and Giza cotton sheets. So act now to get this brand new, absolutely lowest price ever offered of 2 premium MyPillows for only $69.98. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code Joe or call 1-800-489-0201. That's 1-800-489-0201 or MyPillow.com. Either way, use the promo code Joe.
Visit MyPillow.com.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
And now we got Gary from Naperville on the line, who's been released from a mental... Oh, no, wait, that's not quite right. How you doing, Gary?
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate what you're discussing and the way you're discussing it. And I just want to bring up a few points. First of all, the way the left has worked in the last 40 or 50 years to release more and more people with mental issues and to make it more difficult to help people, because to help them, you got to pull them in somewhere and, actually give them the help. And that's been blocked by the left. And then also a second issue, I wonder if you've, discussed before the bigger picture of the people pushing all this leftist agenda, whether it's taking the guns away or the socialist agenda, and really, I don't know if you've ever read this book called Killing Uncle Sam. It really explains step by step for over 100 years how we've been progressing into this less free society. But first of all, what do you think about the guns and the way that people now have a greater right to be on the street even if they're not acting appropriately, which means they can grab a gun from their mom or something like that, and you can't help people like you used to be able to.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. I think Eric knows a lot about this situation, but it's a huge issue, and it's very difficult for your average person who doesn't really have a lot of either personal experience with mental health issues or expertise. It's very difficult to know the difference. If you see someone out, a lot of homeless people are mentally, have mental illness issues,
Correct.
and they were let out of the institutions. What you're talking about, they were let out of the institutions back in the 80s, I believe.
It was ACLU.
And it's very difficult for the average person to know the difference between someone who is dangerous and someone who is not dangerous.
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember. It might have been the 70s, somewhere in there. The ACLU said that involuntarily taking someone for mental health reasons, and they used the term incarcerating them, was unconstitutional. We used to have a facility in Chicago called Dunning. It was sort of in central Chicago area. And it was a mental health facility, and it's where people would be adjudicated and they would be sent there. The problem with psychotics, see, sociopaths know what they're doing is wrong. The problem with psychotic is it's a total disconnect. They really don't know what they're doing is wrong. And it's almost always a chemical imbalance, and not drugs. It's body chemistry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You put them on
Brain
the right
chemistry.
drug, they're fine. But the problem is then they go out and they go, well, I'm fine. I don't need the medication.
Right.
Stop taking it. We're right back where we started from.
Right. Or they don't have access to the medication when they get out.
Right. So how do you deal with that? Because that person in a psychotic state is clearly a danger to society.
Well, yeah.
But you even see families that are dealing with someone like that, and because of the new rules, like it used to be, parents or say relatives could go to the authorities and say, this my brother here or my sister or whoever really has, they need help, and they're doing these things that are dangerous, because usually they don't just jump into shooting a bunch of people. They often have other actions along the way that indicate they're not, like you said, they're chemically imbalanced. And I've seen that too, where if they're not in a place where they're saying, here, take your medicine, you'll be fine if you take it. When they're on their own, it's like, hey, I feel great, I'm not going to take this anymore, and they lose it. So, but the left has really pushed this kind of freedom for the crazies, but restrict the people that are responsible.
Well, here's the thing. Think about this, Gary. The left, if you look at what they do, they consistently are sticking up for people on the margins of society, and people who are legal aliens, people with mental health issues. They're specifically targeting those people because then they say, look what we did for you. We took that monkey off of your back. Vote for us. That's what they're doing. They're buying votes. They want people to cross the border because they'll know that the Democrats are the ones that made it okay.
Facilitated it.
And that's how they're getting votes, because apparently the dead have stopped voting. I don't know, but and I don't know how you combat that. The problem with combating that is Republicans have this ridiculous concept that we have to play by the rules.
Yes.
And that hinders you every time.
I was talking about that with a coworker the other day, and I say this a lot too, that the main disconnect or the main problem with Republicans is that we won't take marching orders. Democrats are trained from a young age and by tools that you're talking about, whatever it may be, whether it's food handouts or, whatever, they're trained to take marching orders. And so when somebody goes to them and says, you need to vote for this person, they go, oh, okay, we'll do that. Well, Republicans won't do that. Okay, we're not lemmings.
Remember what James Carville said, which I found interesting. He was asked how he became a pundit for liberalism, and he said, I wanted to get into the business. I looked at the Republicans, I looked at the Democrats, and frankly, the Democrats will believe anything you tell them. It was easier work. He actually said that.
It's true.
And it is true. When you go to those town hall meetings, most of the people in that room actually believe what they're saying. But they believe it because somebody told them to, not because they think it through.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, we're going to have to take another break. Gary, thanks for being with us for the segment. We got to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about
some more celebrities.
There's more celebrities, and AOC's moment is then. All that more, and we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
How do you manage risk? Many organizations likely consult 2 or more brokers to assist with an employee engagement, benefits, safety, and business risk. This method invites miscommunication and opens the doors to discrepancies, ultimately leaving your company's true cost of risk unsolved. True North Companies has specialists in employee benefits, workers' comp, and property casualty insurance, offering innovative solutions to meet the needs of companies throughout the Midwest. True North's unique process goes far beyond simply placing insurance. The team works with companies like yours to ensure compliance, manage risk, and create financial savings that address education, finance transfer, technology, wellness, claims management, and regulatory compliance. To learn more or to request a no-obligation risk management assessment, visit TrueNorthCompanies.com/OurApproach. True North Companies, unique services, innovative solutions, and a proud supporter of the 100 Club of Chicago.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
The late, great Winston Churchill said, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." Pretty wise words considering all of the distractions in modern society.
For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, including experienced quality control and assurance engineers, plus validation and compliance experts. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or online at hireasi.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
It's time now for your moment of AOC Zen.
Psychic Chakrabarty resigned this week amid little fanfare, but it was a significant revelation. You may recall that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was a poor waif who grew up in meager circumstances and carved out a modest living as a bartender in New York's Union Square. Well, at least that's the story she likes to tell. It is true she lived with her parents in an apartment in the Bronx until age 5, but truth be told, her story begins to take a divergent path at that point. Her family moved to suburban Yorktown Heights. Yorktown Heights is in the affluent Westchester County, and while Yorktown Heights isn't the most affluent town in Westchester County, most of the residents own their own homes and are solidly middle and upper middle class. She also graduated from Boston University, which is rated as one of the 100 most expensive colleges in America. Tuition last year was over $50,000. Like so much of AOC's persona, the life she portrays is bull, and now we learn so too is much of her campaign. You may not be aware that a documentary has been made by Netflix called Knock Down the House. It focuses on AOC's campaign against the incumbent in New York's 14th district, as well as the campaigns of 3 others. Netflix paid $10 million for the rights, but none of that money went to AOC, we're told. AOC always portrays herself as refusing donations from PACs, corporations, and other heavily moneyed power brokers. She was that poor waif barely eking out the wherewithal to run for Congress. This is the part where Psychic Chakrabarty comes in. Chakrabarty, graduated from Harvard, made millions in the tech industry, but more noteworthy is he founded 2 PACs, Brand New Congress and Justice Democrats. The purpose of the PACs was to support liberal candidates in elections, and both raised about $3.3 million. Unfortunately for Chakrabarty, the Federal Election Commission filing showed he siphoned off more than $1 million in political contributions into 2 private firms that he also owned, and is now under investigation for alleged campaign finance misconduct. It turns out Chakrabarty had a day job, when he wasn't raising millions of dollars to get liberals elected. Guess what his day job was? He was AOC's chief of staff. So let's see. According to the records, AOC took in $2.1 million in donations and spent about $1.6 million. And then there's that issue of not getting any of the $10 million from Netflix. That means the poor waif that couldn't afford an apartment when she went to Washington came out of this election at least $500,000 ahead. Remember, it all came from people's piggy banks and not powerful PACs such as, well, Chuck Lombardi's brand new Congress or Justice Democrats. He wouldn't have mingled his day job with his rich PAC guy job, would he? You remember that picture of AOC allegedly crying as she looked through a fence at a supposed concentration camp on our southern border? We learned all that was really there was a car in an otherwise empty parking lot. I'm betting she was watching Chuck Lombardi drive off into the sunset with that big bag of money never to be seen again. Okay, so we...
well, if she did have $0.6 million left over after the election, that stays in the campaign fund.
Oh, yeah, and they always follow rules on that.
Supposedly.
Sure.
I'm just saying that's how it works in my campaign.
Yeah, no, they always follow the rules. We have Lorraine from Barrington on about she wants to sell us psychiatric drugs. Is that it, Lorraine?
That's it. But you mentioned that AOC, she doesn't even know what a garbage disposal is. So, but as a mental health professional, you'd be shocked to know how many people probably could never pass a gun flag test because just about everybody is on some type of antipsychotic medication.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly are a lot of people that are on it these days. I don't know that everybody, but I personally am not.
I didn't say everybody, but there's many people who are.
In this room and in the control room, I can only think of 3 people that would be on it, and I'm not one of them. But that's
yeah. Well, I've never shot anything, so I don't even know if I actually could. But the fact remains is that there are many people on all types of medication that would be flagged. And I think that this is a discussion that the United States needs to take on. It's not going to get solved, obviously, certainly not in the next 14 months. But I think that we all need to recognize that 2 massive shootings in less than a week, plus 24 were shot over this weekend in Chicago. This has got to stop, and we've got to address it.
I think everybody agrees, and I appreciate the phone call. We're gonna have to take off and take another break here in a second. I do want to say one thing real quick before we take a break. My alma mater, University of Illinois, is putting together what they call a bias assessment and response team, BART. And the purpose of BART is this. Students are encouraged to report on alleged bias incidents committed by their fellow students and to do so anonymously if they so choose. Using terms like victim and offender to frame the report, students are prompted to speculate on the reason for the incident, including but not limited to race, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic class, and to assert how bias was demonstrated. Discriminatory treatment, graffiti, vandalism, harassment, threat, offensive language, physical assault, battery, sexual misconduct, social media, spoken communication, or written communication. Supporting documentation can be included but not required. This is a university campus, and they're talking about freedom of speech. When we come back, we'll have Gretchen's action items and more insanity. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time. While I'm searching for the perfect balance, there's hundreds of thousands of chemicals just in an apple alone, and hundreds of thousands in an orange, and all of them. If I can just remove the water without damaging all of the other chemistry, then I can pack it more dense. I never imagined that I would be able to get it down to 3 fruit capsules and 3 vegetable capsules and have the same nutrient value as eating over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Receive 25% off your first preferred purchase of Balance of Nature. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. This limited time offer will only be available until the end of the week, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Join On Target Radio at the 34th Annual Gun Rights Policy Conference, September 20th to 22nd in Phoenix, Arizona. Registration is free and includes literature and the Friday night reception. Go to saf.org/GRPC to register. The following Safer USA class is at our facility in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, August 17th and 18th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
That'll give me enough time. The left is very creative. They'll do anything they can to stop Trump from getting reelected. Bette Midler, who... Could we have a more marginalized entertainer today?
At this point, I don't think so. No.
Probably 9/10 of the people listening to this show don't even know who she is.
I don't think she's done anything since Beaches, has she?
Probably not. Bette Midler has been begging Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey to ban the president's social media platform until the next election.
Yeah. Ban Trump from
Just
Twitter.
And he suspend says, freedom of speech.
He says, why don't you help your country and the planet by kicking #Trump off #Twitter or shutting down until the next election? You've made more than enough money.
They really want that, though? I mean, to me, that would seem like a advantage to them if Trump was on Twitter.
Actually, you're right. It would.
Right?
Because they claim he's so nuts.
Right. Taking Trump off Twitter actually would probably be an advantage for
help
Trump.
Us.
It would actually help Trump's campaign.
Right.
Maybe.
He doesn't want to admit it, but it's probably true, actually.
But I mean,
I like his Twitter
But
post.
that is the point, though. The point is they're willing to suspend freedom of speech. Now, if you did it to them, it'd be totally different.
End of the world.
You can't do that.
End of the world. And Linda Sarsour of the Women's March, the flaming radical Muslim woman, she says, because he's actually putting all our lives in danger.
Yeah. So, and then the other
tiny violins.
The other one is Larry Charles. Everybody, I'm sure, remembers Larry Charles for his wonderful directing of Borat, or was that Boring? He is basically suggesting that the left should just go to war. He said, "I'm glad to see that the left is arming itself. This is war. Let's just go out and start shooting conservatives." These people are just psycho. They're nuts. But as we were saying earlier before the show started, there's a certain level of humor to the fact that the people who are anti-gun and have never shot a gun before want to go out and buy a gun and somehow take on the people who go out every weekend and practice tactics. I mean, that shows you how intelligent they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, he posted a link with his comments to a Guardian article that detailed the desires of left-wing groups like Antifa to take up, this is my favorite part, to take up arms in order to protect events from other malicious and potentially armed groups.
Yeah, like
Antifa's really, really concerned about protecting people.
Yeah, it's. Let's see. When was the last time?
Bricks for that?
When was the last time we heard of a conservative group going and beating up people in a like an Antifa? Well, Antifa is not passive to begin with, but it just doesn't work that way. These people are crazy. They're the ones who are on psychotropic drugs, or should be.
Well, it certainly seems like it.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just getting worse every day. after watching that the debates among the Democratic candidates, each of them was trying to top the other one.
We're getting some chatter on YouTube about the town hall that happened at the Naperville Library today.
That was
the one-sided town hall that was today. I guess Kathleen Willis was there, even though that's not even close to her district, and she wouldn't talk to this guy. And Mimi Cohen was there, and Lauren Underwood was there.
Anyway, we'd like to thank you for listening on Target Radio.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board. Learn how you can be a sponsor partner for a lot less than you'd imagine. Call 815-741-3474 for details.
And be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.
His name's Eric Allen.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson to talk about my incredible experience with Online Trading Academy. I signed up for my own free class, and you can too. You'll be introduced to skills to take control of your financial future. You'll learn the right moves to make when the economy turns and how to spend less time worrying about life and more time living it. You know, no one else will ever care about your financial future as much as you do. It's time for you to start learning how to invest in you. Seats are limited. Just call 844-778-7132 to attend and get 2 free passes to their next class so you can check this all out. And if you call right now, they will send you home with their Professionals Insider Kit. It's loaded with exclusive investing courses and some of their best lessons from the pros. This is a limited opportunity and seats go quickly, so call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132, or visit them online at otaclass.com, otaclass.com.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer, WIND.